name is Don Dooley. I'm with Gentec USA Inc. here in Portland, Oregon. First, I want to congratulate you on selecting MAESTRO, our most versatile, accurate, and intuitive digital power and energy monitor. When you receive it, it will include a CD with our software, drivers, and a user manual, a calibration certificate, a power supply, and the appropriate AC cord. Now let's take a look at the features and connectors on MAESTRO. On the front side, we have our large 5.7-inch color RGB liquid crystal display and a touchscreen and a power button. On the back side, we have a built-in kickstand, which I'll show you how to set up a little later. On the top, we have a DB15 probe connector, a small serial connector, which can be configured as an RS-232, a analog output, or an external trigger. You'll need to get an accessory cable for any of those functions. Then we have a mini USB and Ethernet connector for data collection and instrument control, and a power jack, and then a full-size USB connector for a USB stick or a USB mouse to control MAESTRO. Okay, it's time to set up the MAESTRO. We're using it with a PH100 silicon optical probe today and a 780 nanometer laser diode. First thing we'll do is plug the PH100 probe into the MAESTRO. And next we'll plug in the AC cord. And then we'll push the Gentec-EO button to power the instrument on. It will take about 10 seconds to come on as MAESTRO reads the probe E2 prom to identify the probe and access the calibration and wavelength correction data. The instrument comes up in the auto range mode and begins to search for the appropriate power range, and once found begins to measure power. Okay, we're now measuring power, but not correctly because the default wavelength for the PH100 probe is 300 nanometers. We need to set the wavelength to 780 nanometers. Here's how it's done. Touch the wavelength button. You'll see a drop-down menu with a small selection of values, but not 780. So select More. You'll see a matrix of wavelengths. Use the right or left arrow to see more options. We'll select 780 nanometers and push the OK button. The OK button is always used to complete the selection process. Now we're back to making the measurement. We're reading power correctly at 780 nanometers. This is probably a good time to walk you through the layout of the LCD screen. MAESTRO has two display modes, dual screen, which we're looking at now, and full screen, which can be selected by touching the full screen icon. I'll touch the full screen button for the strip chart and then for the power reading. In the dual screen mode, the real-time power measurement is shown at the top. Then comes the display parameters menu, which gives you access to the setup features like wavelength, range, measurement mode, and others. Next, we have the measurement data displayed in a graphic mode where you can monitor the laser stability over time. At the bottom, we have the navigation menus. Buttons include Home, Search, Info, Manage USB, and Back to Measure, which is very handy as you can return to the measurement screen from anywhere in the menu. Now let's look at your measurement display options. We're in the scope mode now. I'll touch the display feature and select the needle from the drop-down menu. This is used for tuning your laser or optimizing your optical setup. Next, we'll select averaging, where we display the minimum, maximum, and average power readings in a combination strip chart and bar graph. I've set the data collection time to 1 second. You can also select statistics, where you can collect the data set over a user-defined period of time. I've set it at 4 seconds. You simply press the green arrow to start the batch. When complete, you can view the average, minimum, maximum power, and the RMS and peak-to-peak stability. I'll touch Display button and return to the scope mode. Now we'll show you how to acquire a data set and store it on your USB key. First, insert your USB key into the USB connector at the top left corner of MAESTRO. Next, touch the Data Acquisition button and then Configure in the drop-down menu. This lets you set sample rate, duration, change the file name, and add a timestamp. Since the file name is required, we'll do that now. Once this is complete, touch the OK button. Next, touch the Data Acquisition button again, and then Start in the drop-down menu. In 4 seconds, we'll have a data set. Now you can remove your USB key, plug it into your PC, and conveniently analyze your data file using a program like Microsoft Excel. If you want Maestro to remember all of your settings for the next time you use it, you need to save those settings as follows. Touch the Home button, then select Startup Config. Now select Auto Save, Apply, and then OK. This will save your current setup, so when you turn the instrument off tonight and power it up tomorrow, it will have saved all your settings like wavelength, range, display, and more. There are a few more great features I want to show you before we wrap up this quick start video. Hot swapping probes. You can remove the PH100 and plug in another probe without powering down Maestro. It will read the E2 prom of the new probe and reset itself. Firmware upgrade in the field. Simply go to our website, download the latest firmware on a fresh USB key. Make sure the .bin file is in the main folder of the USB key. You plug the key into the USB connector on Maestro. Next, touch the Search button, and then About, and finally, Update. It will take a few minutes to update, at which time you simply power the Maestro off and then back on, and it's done. PC Maestro application software. We offer some very user-friendly LabVIEW software and drivers for Maestro, which can be downloaded from our website.
Well, that about does it for the Maestro Quick Start video. If you have any questions about it, you might want to look at the user manual or give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you. Thanks for joining us today.